Hi guys, welcome back from Carly at the Apothecary, and today we're looking at two wonderful uses for the humble horse chestnut or conker, which is the fruit of the horse chestnut tree, otherwise known as the Aesculus hippocastanum. Now the first one is a way to wash your laundry. The second is a way to treat pesky varicose veins. Some people experience skin sensitivity issues, so please try a 24-hour skin test before including this in your beauty resume. Not safe for human consumption, however, the chemicals known as saponins within the horse chestnut, when used topically or as a washing liquid, have been known to show great benefits and be extremely useful. So, let's get started. Although there are saponin-containing plants that are safe for consumption for circulatory problems, this is not one. So, as with all of our videos, identification is our first step. Large leaves have a palmate form, or fan-like, which is normally 7 leaves coming off one center stalk on a stem of its own. These attach to a main stem opposite each other along the stem, and when removed leave a horse-shaped wound on the main stalk. In late spring, they produce a beautiful cluster of white, pink, and yellow flowers and can grow ginormous. And then in late autumn, they provide the conker, the horse chestnut, which firstly we will be turning into an alternative laundry liquid. Whether you've just decided to try an alternative to the shop brands or your campsite got turned into a mudslide, this is a great way to wash your clothes. Once correctly identified, you will want to wrap your horse chestnuts in a cloth and give them a good smushing. I use my meat tenderizer, but you could use a hammer or even a large rock if you were outside. The smaller you can get your bits, the better, because it will help the liquid permeate the soapy cells. So if you're at home, stick it in a food blender, and if you wish to keep it for long-term use, you can dehydrate it by popping it on a baking tray and sticking it in your oven on the lowest heat for however long it takes. And then popping it in an airtight container with a small bag of rice to help absorb any liquids. When you're ready to use it, add 1 cup of either your dehydrated or your fresh nut to a pan of water. Shake it or stir it constantly for around 20 minutes. Then strain it to remove your plant matter. This can be used with a sieve or a bit of material. Squeeze it out and wash your clothes. Number 2 was a pain and embarrassment that I thought only women suffered: varicose veins. But recently I've been contacted by some friends who do weightlifting or a repetitive, laborious job that has strained the valves that manage the blood flow, cause the blood to pool on the surface and stretch the vessels. And you get those little blue lines, and this is something that I have suffered from recently. However, mine was caused by rocking my babies in a rocking chair with my legs crossed. So again, you will need your conkers. 10 will do just fine. Alcohol, you can source a food grade alcohol again, however, as it's topical, it's not necessary. And a agar or gelatin. Agar is a seaweed-based vegan option for gelatin. I also use some essential oils, and I like to add a healthy thunk of aloe into mine. Again, smush your horse chestnuts or conkers into the smallest bits you possibly can. Grind in a food blender if is possible. Once you have the finest ground you're going to achieve, you'll want to top this up with vodka with about 1 inch on the top, or whatever alcohol you're choosing to use. and then you're going to want to mix it as much as you can. I pop mine back in the food processor for another couple of minutes. Now the not so fun waiting game. Pop your concoction back in one of your tincture jars and pop it on a shelf for up to 6 weeks until all the liquid has absorbed. Pop it back out and let's start straining. I strongly suggest using a measuring jug, a sieve and a cheesecloth at this section. What you want to do is squeeze as much of the fluid out of the plant matter as you can. I only had a thin gauze cloth on this occasion, and as you can see it tore a bit at the end, but as it was over my sieve that wasn't such an issue. And we are left with a beautiful creamy soapy liquid left. So measure that amount and pop it on the side, and we're going to start with our gelatin or our agar-agar mix. Following the instructions on my gelatin, I had too much Conker mix for just 1 sachet. So using the amount for 2, I minus my Conker mix and heated the rest in water. I then added my gelatin. Always add your gelatin or agar-agar to the warm water, not the other way around, and then gave it a good stir. Once all the gelatin crystals are dissolved, it's time to add in your Conker mix. I made the mistake of whisking it in this time, which the soap bubbles actually caused a foam on top, so I do advise folding it into the gelatin mix. Added a few drops of essential oil. I decanted a small amount into a little thing for my bathroom and the rest into a jar in the fridge. As you can see, it's quite set, and the bubbles also set in the jello on top. But if you pull them aside, it's all jello underneath and you can slap it on. So there's my 2 containers, and now here's the results. Although mine were tiny and I caught them early, and the 10-week process to make this balm, the redness, soreness, blueness and everything has reduced over the 4 weeks I've been using it. I hope you guys enjoyed my small video on 2 alternative uses for the humble Conker other than beating each other up on the playground. I myself have saved a fortune in laundry detergent and have saved myself further pain and unsightly little blue wormies on my legs. If you guys enjoyed this, I will be doing more. Hope to see you guys again at the Apothecary.